Okay. It's 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. And a very good morning to you. We're getting into it this morning. And glad that you're here. Even as, look, information about these processes in which you're involved in is very important for you to have. If you don't know the process around voting and what exactly happens, then you need to. And we will do what we can to make sure that we're giving that information as often as we can, especially in this period in which we find ourselves. So at least you can count on that. All right. So, one thing that has come into the limelight in the last couple of weeks, more potently so than it has before, is the issue of the British Army training grounds in Laikipia and what exactly is going to happen there, to go or not to go, and whether they're back or what it is that we're doing. And we've seen that training has resumed as of a couple of days ago. But in terms of what it means looking into the future and why this was in the first place, so these are the conversations that we're having this morning to then be able for us to understand a little bit more about what it all means. Ahmed Hashi is a foreign policy expert and advisor, and he's here with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, there's the microphone.
This is the microphone.
I have a big problem with the microphone. It's always running away from me.
There we go.
It's telling me something.
It's like magic. If you speak into it, we can hear you.
Yes.
Uriena we.
Riena.
Amarai.
Mbola.
Amahui we.
Ndimulamu.
Ushere muno.
Ushere.
What are you doing?
That's the new language in town now.
Homecoming of the weekend.
Ushere lugha haraka sana.
Far be it from you to not go with the time.
How are you?
Very well.
Well, you know, I bought fufu the other day.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Okay, why?
Because, you know, we have become friends, me and you.
Yes.
So I want to taste it.
Okay.
I want to know that if I come to your house,
Yes.
not to expect anything radical by bringing my mouth in.
And how was your first experience?
So, I like the ugali better.
You like the ugali because you don't know it.
The ugali tastes better. But the fufu, is the only problem I have is a bit sticky in my mouth. The ugali, you know, it's dry.
Yeah.
Goes good.
You
with
know
the
where it's
chicken.
going. All right.
So I'm delighted to see you guys.
Good to see you too. We're going to get into talking about what's going on with BATUK and all of this and what exactly it means. But before we do that, Dennis has a proverb that you might like.
We're in Malawi.
Wako na Linda Mwananchi huko.
I'll tell you what they're linding. Wanalinda Lake Malawi. Why?
Lake Malawi.
Because it covers 20% of the country's landmass. A lot of fish species in there and amazing sunsets that you can enjoy from that lake. Because they've taken care of it so well that the most amazing sunsets in the continent can only be found there.
Yes.
Yes. The proverb. Most snakes crawl on the ground, but some snakes walk upright and speak English. How would you interpret it?
I was going to say something that will get me arrested before I leave this station.
Boy.
But I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
Because I'm busy campaigning now. I want to campaign. Can you read that again? I think that's an amazing proverb.
Most snakes crawl on the ground, but some snakes walk upright and speak English.
My former wife used to say that about me.
What?
My late wife, I mean. When she gets upset, she used to say, "You snake." I don't know why. I'm a very nice person.
Surely.
But we were totally different. I think what it says is that beware of people who bring gifts. You know?
Yeah.
Beware of Greek bearing gifts.
Yeah, you know, like when the Englishmen came with tobacco
Oh, yeah.
and gave the chiefs tobacco and they got a really big high. And they just said yes to everything. And that's why they came here with their ships and they bamboozled us. They gave us drugs.
Yeah.
They gave us drugs, you know. They gave us cocoa leaves from South America. They gave us the tobacco and whiskey.
Yeah.
And whiskey, you know, is 100 times more potent than the sugarcane one that locals make or the maize one.
Yeah.
So these chiefs got drunk and signed everything away. And that's how BATUK came to Kenya. Did you know that?
Love the connection.
That's
the
a
connection.
segue.
Yeah.
You know, this is a gift that I get from my mom. So in, you know, Jomo Kenyatta used to be a very bridge kind of guy. You never knew if he was with the resistance in this country. or if he was with the colonial system. So everybody put their thoughts and their thinking and their Baba Taifa mentality towards Mr. Jomo Kenyatta. And there's no question that Jomo Kenyatta is, and with Jaramogi Odinga and Masinde Mulero and the Kapenguria Six and Mohammed Hassan Jabiri, my grandfather, were all founders of this country. No question. But Jomo Kenyatta was not a militant. He wanted independence. He was a nationalist militant. But after we got independence, remember the army tried to overthrow him? When the army tried to overthrow him, that is when the British made a defense pact. There was a coup in Uganda. There was a attempted coup in Tanzania. There was an attempted coup in Kenya by the Kenya riflemen, the Kenya African Rifles, because they wanted positions. They wanted salary increments. This happened in the DRC with Patrice Lumumba. So this was a phenomenon that was happening across Africa. Guess what the government did? They stationed the British troops here and the Israelis in Wajir. Do you know why we have an airport in Wajir? Have you ever thought about it?
Because people want to get from places
some
to
people
Wajir.
who look like me, who are very tough, who are across the border. They had a very big army, and they were working with the Soviet Union. And their planes used to just come, circle Nairobi, and go back to Mogadishu. So the Kenya government was very embarrassed and frustrated about that. So they called the Israelis and said, listen, we're allies here. Build an airport here at Wajir. When these guys come, you'll be the first to rise. And they had combat. They had combat between Israeli, they had Kenya markings. And funny enough, some of those airplanes so the Kenya Air Force was manned by Somali men, Somali pilots who were defending Kenyan skies against their cousins from Mogadishu. One of them passed away. It was my uncle. He passed away in a crash here a while ago. But the subject matter is this BATUK.
Yes.
So BATUK, that is how it came, this defense pact between the British and the Kenyans, so that they could protect the regime from the Kenya army because of coups that were happening across the continent. Now, this thing has morphed into something entirely different. It has brought us biracial children.
It has.
It has brought rape. It has brought impunity. It has brought racism. It has brought even the discourse today is that if they go, Nyanyuki will collapse economically. I mean, of course Nyanyuki will collapse economically if they go because they planned Nyanyuki around the damn base. They didn't plan it for anything else. And what is the Kenya government asking the British government? Please, if you rape, kill, or maim any of our citizens, we will take you to court. That's all the Kenya government was like. So what did Ruto do? Ruto signed it yesterday. Was it yesterday? He signed it. He agreed.
Day before yesterday, because the training resumed yesterday.
Yes, the training resumed yesterday.
Yeah.
And funny thing, his cousin, who is the chairman of the COEG, who is the head of the Defense and Foreign Affairs Committee, put his foot down. Admirably, COEG has done an amazing thing. He said we're not going to allow it, and you know the signature is between the administration and the British administration. Is between the two. But our constitution says you have to take this thing to the committee.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
For it to be checked and to be presented as a bill, so that not as a bill, for it to be authorized that the Kenya government is in disagreement. Right. Now, we don't know what's going to happen, but the administration has more power than the legislature on these bilateral agreements. It has more power. But the parliament can cause a lot of trouble. So this thing is happening now, right? So I think that Mr. Kwech will be pushed. He'll get a call from the office of the president, and they'll speak to him in his language. They'll say, Chamige, Yamune, Momingalai, And he'll sign it, he'll agree to it because he's part of the government, right? He's with the administration. But, you know, from a point of view of foreign analysis, it just shows you how weak our foreign minister is. Mr. Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, whose job has been reduced to taking selfies of the president on trips abroad. It is a tragic situation that Mr. Mudavadi, who started Poland, was a minister when he was 24 years old. Can you imagine that? He's in his maybe late 70s, if not his early 80s. People like that should retire. Mr. Mudavadi has no business being in government anymore. What is it that he's going to contribute? Nothing.
Because if he were, that we would see a situation like this. Because, Hashi, let's look at what BATUK as an acronym actually stands
British
for. Right? It's a training unit.
Yes.
And one would imagine that if you have a training unit, that there's training going on that maybe you didn't have access to in your own country. But from what I'm hearing you say, it's a little bit more than that.
They're lying.
Are they training for combat?
No, the British are lying.
Are they going to be ready for conflict if it happens so that they can leave from here and go somewhere else?
If you look at what they say that we're training because of good weather.
Yeah, the conditions are, you know...
That's what they
conducive,
say.
Yeah. So if I can go through this. So the British Army Training Unit Kenya...
Weather.
It's a permanent...
Yes.
That is a very necessary adjective.
Yes.
British Army Support Unit based mainly in Nanyuki. The main base is at the Nyati Barracks in Nanyuki. It's about 200 kilometers north of Nairobi, a small element at the Kahawa Garrison in Nairobi. So there's some here as well. It serves as the British Army's largest contingent of soldiers based in Africa. It provides field training and exercises for up to 6 British infantry battalions per year. It conducts joint military exercises along the Kenya Defense Forces to improve readiness and peacekeeping skills. So this is for you. This is for Kenya.
It is an occupying power, in my view. We have no sovereignty if another country has guns and artillery in our country. Because if they get a direct order to shoot at State House, well, they'll do it, right?
They're here.
If the Kenya Army stages a coup in this country, that battalion will fight. Those Israeli Air Force pilots will be here. You remember when the buildings collapsed here in Kenya? The first people to come here are Israelis, you know that? And the dogs sniff, the humanitarian guys. No, they're not here under it. They're coming to look for these Arabs they're in conflict with. They think that the terrorism has happened to them. And they themselves are blowing up buildings. It's called Red Ops, flag something. So this BATUK, when we, Linda Wananchi, come to this country, hopefully, we are going to send them home. And you know the reason why we're going to send them home is because we simply ask them, under their British sense of justice, that if you commit a crime, please, we will take this guy to the police station and we will take him to a court. They refused. The president allowed the French to do this when they came here. He is allowing the British to do it. Yeah? Because Mr. Ruto has one philosophy. I am powerful, you bend. If you're more powerful than me, I'll bend. That's his entire philosophy. So this is why we have such a tremendous political upheaval in this country. Because if you look at the people on the government side, you see the idea that you have a foreign military base in your country says something about our country, doesn't it? You know what it says? It says we're not secure. And that we need what? We need this patrimony. We need this tautology. We need people to protect us because we're not sure about these Africans with guns. They might just come up and start shooting the legitimately elected government. And the British were an appendage of the British island. You know that? Up to today. We're speaking their language. We have the educational system.
You're playing in their games currently.
Playing their games.
Yeah.
All these things. We are just caricatures of these fellows. And if you go to Nanyuki, you will see old white fellows driving these Land Rovers, right? They still think the colonial system is still in the country, you know? And every time a white guy passes in Nanyuki, the local Kikuyu fellow will take his hat off like this and say, "Habari bwana." This is what they used to say during colonialism. So, militant partisans for the Republic like me, and the Linda Mwananchi group, we are not liked by the political elite in this country. You can tell. You know, Linda Mwananchi is essentially ODM, going back to its roots.
Yes.
Because, you know, the Odinga family is squabbling over the party. So we have given the baton to this young man because we feel that he had the chutzpah. We believe that. We hopefully he has the chutzpah to when you get into government, to have a defense minister who will tear up this agreement, kick out the British, let them go to Tanzania. And then we will talk to Tanzania and we'll say, we're East Africa, kick them out. And if we kick them out of every country that we're in this continent, then we will have our own military self-respect that they know that they can do. If they want to go training, they bring 1 or 2 advisors from England and come and train. But I think that the Kenya Army itself is so experienced now that it doesn't need them. It doesn't need any of the British training.
Hashi, this speaks about sovereignty of the people. The Constitution says we the people,
Yeah.
you know. And at the point where crime has been committed, a Kenyan has been murdered, and with that then there is the justice system that has to take place because the crime happened in Kenya. But then we are allowing all this to happen on the basis that they're here to train. One asks the question at that point, where is the sovereignty of the people of Kenya with whom have donated their land for these individuals to train?
Listen, these people killed 300,000 Kenyans during the Mau Mau period. What makes you think that this rape and murder of people in Nyanyuki is such a big deal to them? The British underclass is the one that employs the British Army. And the officer class is from the middle class or the upper class. You know, Britain is a class system, right? They're the ones who brought us this class system. So, you know, from a point of view of our continent and our people, I think that in 2027, that it is a scandal, it's shameful that you have foreign military installations by the Americans and the British and the Israelis in this country. It means that we're a pet, that we do not have any kind of autonomy.
And now the French.
Including the French now. So that if the British Defense Minister comes and talks to our Ministry of Defense and says, you know, we have 8 battalions here in Nyanyuki, which is 2 hours away from Nairobi. That's a threat, you know that, in diplomatic language. Did you know that? You are talking about the geography of the thing.
Right.
But what is loaded inside is when I tell you, say you're the British Defense Minister, you're the Kenyan Defense Minister, and I tell you, and I'm the British Defense Minister, Mr. Minister, how nice to meet you. How are things in Kenya? I just came from the 8 battalions, the artillery and our airplanes down there in Nyanyuki.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was 2 hours away from Nairobi. I'm amazed. That's a threat.
It's so close.
It's a diplomatic threat. You know what I mean? What is it that the Kenya Defense Minister is going to say? We welcome and like and support the British Army.
Anything else that we can do to make your stay more comfortable here, please don't hesitate to let us know.
Yeah.
Now,
Now,
for you to make such a...
that's neocolonialism, right?
That's what it is.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, but then it is interesting because the few days ago, maybe with Nelson Koech as the chair of the Defense Committee of Parliament, to be really vehement and say, we will not renew this license. We are not going to continue with this. What was the turnaround that then said, okay, fine, let's sign it, and then let's go back to business as usual? Who had who by the shorts and curlies to say, okay, fine.
Gachagua.
What does that mean?
Says
What does that mean,
Monday, the administration will say Tuesday. Gachagua said, you know, Gachagua is also very, very conservative. He was part of the UDA. And he is building a temple of tribalism in the central Kenya. You know, he's got a thing against his friend who fired him from the job. And he's politicized his kinsmen to play politics from the 17th century. I'm on the progressive wing of the opposition, not its right wing. And Mr. Gachagua says something, the government will do something else. Now, I'll give you an example. Mr. Koech said that Mr. Gachagua is looking for money from the British to allow him to stay in Nyanyuki. Do you know what that means? It means that central Kenya is not part of Kenya. That's what he's saying. You know, these tribal games that these politicians play to divide our people. But the essential political economy issue is whether or not military installations in our continent are a positive or negative thing, and it's obviously a negative thing, and those kinds of things need to be removed. The Constitution of Kenya does not allow it. You know that?
The Constitution of Kenya does not allow what?
Does not allow it because it says we, the people, are the sovereign. This is our country. We believe in rights. That exactly tells you that anything that is not sovereign to us, which conflicts with our sovereignty, is not allowed. That's a clear interpretation.
Okay.
So I think that there is no BATUK breakthrough. There is no resumption. It is just a disaster for this country, and we'll keep hearing of this rape. We'll keep hearing of this fights within Nyanyuki. You cannot enter their base.
And if there was that camaraderie, if there was that friendship, then why wouldn't you, for example, and we're taking a break on this, so hold on to your answer because I can see you jumping already out of your seat. Why wouldn't Kenya then have a training unit somewhere in Sheffield, for example? Okay. Ahmed Hashi is here with us. Let's have a conversation about that and look at what it does to state sovereignty. After this break, we'll be back.
Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Supervise the fact that Somalia should be divided, balkanized, and that is why we have Kismayo. You say Kismayo is a little bulwark against Al-Shabaab. A foreign intelligence outfit. It's not.
For all intents and purposes, what you're saying is that Kenya still remains a colony of Great Britain. And it's interesting because we were having a budget conversation and we were told that about 35 million shillings monthly still goes towards the payment of pensions for former colonial chiefs who live in London today.
The district commissioners and the DOs and the people who are whipping us are paid.
Not who are paid, are paid.
Are paid. Are paid. Did I say were paid? Are paid. There's a continuing pension. This is some of the agreements between us and the British government. They haven't paid us on the Mau Mau yet.
Yeah. There's
no money yet has come. You've read that book by that British woman about the Gulag Archipelago. It's Alexander Solzhenitsyn Gulag Archipelago version here of Kenya. There's been no payment. The Mau Maus are living in terrible conditions in Mount Kenya there. And nobody has repaid them. Neither the other institutions of the economy can be created there. Just like every other place we have. They just want to create a little bit of, a nice place for the British soldiers to come and hang out. To have nice, pretty Kenyan girls as their concubines. Do you know this is a big problem between Japan and Korea about comfort women? Did you know that? During the occupation of Korea by Japan. And part of this concept of comfort women is still here in Nyanyuki, where, in the evenings they go to the pubs. They know they can't be arrested, so they could just kick you in the behind and grab a woman. And there's a young Kikuyu girl. You've seen the documentary about the girl who was killed and murdered in a hotel.
For whom they're trying to get,
justice and they're
today.
Covering up that woman's death. You know who's covering it up? Our government. Because they're covering up the death of their citizens, and that old woman is screaming and crying in their house, and there's no justice for her. And signing that agreement with the British simply says that we allow this kind of brutal oversight, Boer kind of thinking in our country.
Let's switch it a little bit. Because of this arrangement that Kenya has with Britain, there are those Kenyan army officers as well who got British, assuming that similar crimes were committed in Britain. Would we see the same treatment being applied?
Have you tried getting a British visa? What are you talking about going there? Have you tried? Go there. You have a job. You have a salary. Go to the British Embassy and say, I'm going to London. I want to see the statues of colonialism. You know, if you go to London, before you reach Buckingham Palace, you'll see Sir Walter Raleigh. You'll see some conqueror of Burma.
Yeah.
Then you'll see conqueror of India. Then you'll see conqueror of Nigeria. Then you see conqueror of East Africa. Things like this.
Yeah.
All the way down to Buckingham Palace. I'm not kidding. I've been there.
Yeah.
And then there's shopkeepers who have bad teeth everywhere around that place. You know about that, right?
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't for us, the British would be eating fish and potatoes for the rest of their lives. I'm not joking.
It's true.
What are you
it's
saying?
true.
Well said.
The haddock. You know haddock?
Yeah.
Do you know they have fish and chips? That was their food. They import carrots and this nice beetroot from us, cassavas from that lady. They got all these other good stuff, oranges, tobacco, all these things. It's imported because they created this imperial system to get it. And during the Second World War, the German fellow, Adolf had created these submarines. And, you know, the British could hardly eat. They had one meal a day, you know. So I think that we have to topple. We have to topple this upuzi because we Africans have this kind of patience. And I am impatient with this nonsense that we have, Dave. And I think that we ought to fight it because we men and women in this country, and I'm one of them, humbly, we fought to bring this constitution to this country so that we could express ourselves here. And so I think that it's just shocking that they allowed this.
It's so clear that if such crimes are committed in the UK, that the UK government would protect their citizens through everything. Back home, we are seeing it's a reverse, that they would not want to respect the laws of the land. Then one asks the question then, is the government allowing other jurisdictions to mistreat its people simply because of wealth, power that they have?
I think, you know, I think it's quite obvious for the general viewer here we have in our continent that there's a new generation of young people who absolutely reject everything. And woe unto the rulers of this continent because they're all going to be toppled. They're either going to be toppled through elections or they're going to be toppled through the force of arms. Because the situation obtaining in our continent today is it's obvious for everybody to see that we cannot continue in a way that makes us subservient to these powers. I mean, I'm not talking about, you know, there's one thing that Kenyans love to deal with. You're not being realistic. You ever heard of this?
Yes. You're being idealistic.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Why am I not being realistic? I am right here next to you. I am looking at the same thing you're looking at. And I see what is happening. I see. James Baldwin used to say, no, I hear you saying that you want a new constitution, I mean, equality in the United States, but I see what you're doing. You're not looking for equality. You're killing me because of my skin color. You know? So, I see what is happening in this country. Everybody can see it. But we are a conservative society, you know? We want... have you ever seen a Muzungu walk into an art cafe? Yeah. All the waiters jump to go and give him coffee. I have more money than him. He came here with £1,000. You know why they come here, right? They come for our girls, right? Yes, that's why they come here. Yes, it's true. You people, you have to hear the truth.
Okay.
Then they go to Mombasa. Then they go and see, you know, they're given the native dance.
Yeah.
And it, you know, to tell with his girlfriend, they said, look, oh, the Africans are jumping up. He might even throw a banana to us. And we will not be offended. That's because we're put through this educational system of yes, sir, ndio, sir, Bwana asifiwe. You know, Bwana asifiwe is not praising Jesus. He's praising the white guy with the hat.
Wow.
You know that? It's got nothing. Jesus was black.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, it's true. No, I'm telling you, how would you have at 50 degrees temperature in the Middle East and there's a blue blonde guy? How is this not possible? the environmental conditions themselves
Doesn't allow.
doesn't allow it. And in the Bible itself says that Jesus had woolly hair.
Yeah.
Is it in Isaiah? He had hair like wool. What blonde guy had hair like wool? I'm quoting the Bible.
Yeah.
I'm not making anything, just in case you accuse me of being a Muslim and say, oh, you're...
I am Muslim as well,
Unapiga, well, yeah, Dave, yeah. So unapiga wa Kristo, hapana. I'm not. Islam is a continuation of that Bible. It's just a continuation of it. The only problem they have is on the crucifixion, but the rest is the same. Isaiah is Isaiah here. It's all the same. Now, I put it to you that this whole idea of hegemony, this concept is cultural, where, when you're beaten culturally, then you accept everything. So the first thing is, Kizungu. Jifundisheni Kizungu, sio Kiswahili. Tanzania has beaten them to that. They're speaking Kiswahili, which makes them more conscious. And when the revolution comes to Tanzania, it will be much more apparent than the one here we have. In Kenya, we have decided, like the British, that just go stage by stage. So President Ruto campaigned on the discourse of the poor. And he's sleeping with the stockbrokers, and the international finance, correct? So Linda Mwananchi now has come. We're going to say, oh, that was not the authentic one. We are the authentic one, right? And the people of Kenya will see it. And now I'm telling you that I hope in the next election that the government is formed. And when I'm a member of parliament, I'll definitely be the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee. God help the British when I get into parliament. God help them. We're bringing authenticity to Kenyan debates.
So that what you said, even, laced with some humor, is that it actually is possible for sovereign states, as we look at them, to actually own your sovereignty and to say that, this is great, but what benefit do you get? Because the truth of the matter is that the folks who are the ones with the training units, look at them. The ones with the training units here, whether it's Great Britain, it's the US, it's France, it's Israel, rarely do anything outside of their own national interest. So they're not doing it for you. They're not coming to train KDF because they like you so much. There's a benefit that's attached to them. So we keep saying that, oh, don't settle for the crumbs under the table. Be at the table when there's a conversation going on. So it actually is possible for you to say, well, you know what? Having you here training over the years has actually been contrary to our national interests, and that we can have a conversation in that direction. Is such a thing possible?
Yes. The Robert Nesta Marley, the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley.
No woman, no cry.
And I said that, here comes the con man. Here comes the con man coming with his bald head. And, African poets, singers, and cultural icons have been warning us of what is happening. Public policy people, experts like me, and people who are in the political world must have a understanding of the future of African peoples. And the future of African peoples does not belong in having failed states, nation states, and military barracks in it. Military institute. What it needs is an East African sovereign Jumuiya, right? That includes the DRC, that includes the Somali Republic. And then we can build our highways and trade, and David can go to Mogadishu and open his own show and talk about what's going on in East Africa. That is our future. But military installations are not our future. Nyanyuki should not be dependent on a military installation for its survival. No, it should not. It should have an alternative economy. You know what alternative economy? Those huge farms they have in Nyanyuki that was under colonialism. They should be kicked out. The land should be made productive, shared to the people who fought for the freedom of this country. What are British people doing in Nyanyuki? Planting avocados, and in Laikipia. They're going to pour money into my Langata constituency to oppose me, the way I'm speaking. Oh, yes, they will. But the people are there. I'm going to go to the people and I'm going to tell them these people are going to do that. Nikitaka mimi nitaenda. Watanimaliza lakini mutakaa hivi tu. What is it that these people are doing in Laikipia. Have you seen Igbos in Yorkshire planting avocados?
They could be in Yorkshire, but they're not planting.
No, they're not planting avocados, and the land doesn't belong to them.
Yeah.
That land would be feeding hundreds of thousands, if not millions. There is no right for people to own this massive land in Laikipia and in Nyanyuki, particularly in Laikipia, where the Samburu people and the other Africans who are there can't even graze because there's white people with AK-47s, Kalashnikovs, shooting at them. You go there, you see exactly one white fellow with short khaki pants, safari boots, a brown belt, and a kofia. That is the symbol of apartheid. Did you know that? That is the symbol. You people, don't be afraid to talk about these things.
Let's go.
We are not going to be afraid to talk about these things because that is what our children are talking about. My children debate with me about that. It's not their land, it's ours. They're doing the South Africa ethnic division. Monk, what's that guy with the X who owns X? Not X, Twitter. What's his name? Monk or something like this.
Musk. Yes.
They are funding Zulus in South Africa to play this anti-African game. What are they doing? They're trying to cut South Africa out of the continent, right? Because the African national government has failed. ANC has failed to provide jobs. It has failed to understand the economy. It has accepted this intrusion into South Africa. When South Africa went to the International Criminal Court to oppose the Israeli settler apartheid system, guess what happened to them, The eviction of Africa started in South Africa.
Yes.
What is the South African intelligence system doing? Was it sleeping? We are in big, big trouble. You're talking about Malawi. Malawi had a president called Bingwa Mutharika.
Yes.
You know what he did? He exported food. He was an agriculturist. He transformed that country. What happened to him? He died under circumstances that we don't know. Correct?
Yes, unexplainable.
So we have to talk to Africans here because people in Togo are watching this. Correct? And we want to tell them that the position of the African sentiment is alive and kicking in Kenya. And the militancy is there. That is why we have Sifuna. His uncle, this guy, was one of the 6 bearded people in Parliament detained by Charles Njonjo. He didn't come from Charles Njonjo's house. He came from a Sifuna house. Sifuna in Kibukusu means nini? Anasifa. Sidio? He's a human being. He has his problems. But what we want is to get these young... He's younger than me. He's 44. Yeah, he's 44. Nearly 10 years younger than me, or 8. So we want to get people like that into the State House. You know what they're saying? That he's not experienced. That's exactly what we want to. We want a completely inexperienced person to look at these things and get shocked and say, "What is this?
This is impossible. We can't do
What
this.
is this you have here? I don't want to see this. Go and change this." He needs to have enough parliamentarians like Ahmed Hashi, who understands foreign relations in the House.
Hashi, how does foreign influence our local politics to a degree so that they protect their interests?
The political class in this country works for Britain, the United States, and Israel. It's a fact of life. And if you don't like it, you can go jump in the river. It's just a fact. When they come to us and tell us, go to the United Nations and vote this way. I'll give you an example. Ukraine. Ukraine?
Yes.
Remember when Russia invaded Ukraine?
Yes.
Who was the first person to speak in the United Nations? It was Kenya.
Yeah.
Kenya.
They even wrote the statement at the State Department. Then they brought it to the Kenyan ambassador sitting at the UN.
And say, read this.
Somahi.
Somahi.
Now you believe me because I gave you a really prescient example. You thought I was just joking here. Now you're saying, he's right. And the people there see, that's exactly what they wrote. What business do we have fighting between Ukraine and Russia? In fact, it's the Soviet Union and Cuba that helped us liberate all of South Africa. We owe it to the Russians and to the Cuban people who are suffering under an oil embargo.
Yeah.
You know, even our sympathy. They even brought doctors here.
They did.
When Ebola happened in West Africa, nobody ran. It was the Cuban doctors who were there. I am not talking about a leftist, militant discourse. I am talking about an African experience. And if the Europeans and the Americans want to call it militant leftist, that's their problem, not mine. But what I'm talking about is what's happened here in this continent.
So what's it going to take for somebody to, be in that position whereby you're having the conversation most honestly? What's it going to take?
Well, we want to elect militant young people into power. People like Traore. Musiogope bwana. Unaogopa nini? Mimi nimelala ndani. I've had many problems. A lot of people have died because of this kind of language. But we brought that constitution. Yeah, did we not? Now we have to fight tribalism and corruption in this country, right? Corruption is coming at a massive space. Trillions of shillings are being lost. We have huge problems in this country. And if we become cynics, and we allow that people from other places to just come here and eat our cabbages, and we look at them and say, Karibu, then we have another thing coming, do we? It will not be possible to live a decent life on our continent like that. We have to stop this kind of nonsense. We have to stop it. That's my view.
Do you think African governments are able to stand on business together with the African Union and fix the mess and finally
Yes, the
say
Sahel
the
Union is
continent
doing it.
is
The
here?
Sahel Union is doing it. Captain Traore, the other ones in the Sahel Union, Captain Traore has brought agriculture back, brought the economy back, brought schooling back, brought airports back, brought healthcare back, brought housing back. He's told the universities that you cannot write about Hegel and Marx, but you have to get an engineering degree to build bridges.
Yes.
I disagree with him on that. I think you should read Kipling, if it's a poem. I think you should read all the books in the world to educate yourself about what's happening. And most of all, you should read Aikwe Arma.
Absolutely.
Absolutely read him, because he's one of the greatest philosophers of our continent.
time.
So I think that if we don't Africanize our issues, Africanize our thinking, Africanize our views, Africanize our visions, Africanize everything, we'll be the, sheep to the slaughter that we are today.
And maybe remain forever colonies.
Yes.
That's what's really happening with BATUK.
Yeah.
That's how we started this conversation. It goes beyond that. Beyond the acronym, this is the reality of the situation. Coming straight from there.
You're called to go drink camel milk.
Drink camel milk. I've
It's
tried that,
antibiotic.
and it's not been too fun. It's a natural antibiotic.
Yeah, it clears your tummy.
And
We
everything.
have two brains.
Oh, here we go.
This one and this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is directly connected here.
Okay.
Whatever you give here,
Affects here.
affects
Perfect.
here.
Yeah. Okay, you need to give me the hookup for the camel milk. We'll talk after this. Good morning.
And I'll drink the
9
soba.
o'clock.
What's it called? The soba?
Which one?
What's those leaves you?
Zobo.
Zobo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's new information. Zobo?
Zobo.
I'll be drinking Zobo very soon.
It's 9 o'clock.
Thank you for inviting me.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
They are not yet.